The previous adventure bike was a Tenere 700. That's gone because it was way too top heavy and tall for me. I even had it lowered, but the top heavy centre of gravity was just a bit of an issue in the slow, tight, rough stuff, and a few other reasons. But anyway, don't want to get into that. We'll move on. We now have the NX500. It will be my long-term project. Just ask my wife. It's not going anywhere. It is now mounted. I didn't go through the actual installation of this, but let me just show you here in the daylight now, because I did do it last night. There is a nut here, and this bolt goes all the way through the frame and comes out the other side. The reason I really like this particular skid plate is that it's mounted at 4 main points. So one here on the frame, and there's your frame bar. This one here goes to the frame as well via the exhaust hanger bracket. You've got this bracket here which also bolts up onto the frame, and the other one is in behind this plastic shield here inside there. So that's the other side of that bolt you saw just a moment ago, and that comes down and bolts in down there. So you do end up with 8 screws like this to remove your skid plate when you want to do an oil change. This bracket I probably will paint black. Other people have painted it black. It would be nice if that was also coated the same as the plate itself and coming black, but that's all right. And you can access your oil filter if you want to through here quite easily, but I wouldn't do that. I would take the skid plate off because you do have to drain oil out the back of the sump up under there. So relatively easy to do. The only tricky part really, I guess, is that bolt there. Doing that back up, you do need someone on each side to hold it so you can get the proper tension up on it. Otherwise it just spins around and around while you're trying to tighten it up. I will do something to protect this hose here because I can see that's going to rub and eventually wear through. So that's a point there. And also give yourself clearance in here. Make sure you've got clearance when you tighten these bolts up. This one here was the only issue I had. When I pulled this bolt out, this whole frame kicked back and the bolts would not line up with the hole. So what I actually did was put a ratchet strap around here and back through here to the rear passenger foot peg mount, and I was able to ratchet strap across here, and that simply winched that back into alignment. Fairly easy to do. Other than that, it's relatively straightforward. A little bit fiddly with some of these screws, but now that it's in, all you got to do is unbolt these 8 screws around the plate, and that plate drops off, and away you go for a nice clean oil change. So there it is, SRC Adventure Moto skid plate, and I think it looks quite good on the bike as well. I guess my only real criticism is that it is only 3mm thick. I did speak to the company owner, Tony, gave my feedback to him to say the 3mm is just too thin. 4mm would be ideal, but I will be able to enhance underneath this with an extra skin of something to beef it up just a little bit. That's my one only criticism, but nice and strong. They do provide this threaded mount here, I believe, for upper crash bars, which I won't be fitting because I'm going to be putting on the GB racing style covers over the engine itself rather than have bar work all over my bike. I won't need that. And if you want the SRC Adventure Moto skid plate, I do recommend it. I'm quite happy with it.